Welcome to my show where we talk about love, where we allow ourselves joy and compassion, where we are open to our authenticity, where speaking our truth is our birthright and we claim our abundance, our prosperity. Welcome here to this space where I share my love for healing, my love for connecting with women on a soul level, because I believe that we all have a purpose on this planet, and I am here to help you awaken that aspect of yourself. I am here to help you claim your inner power of safety and trust and creativity and confidence and love and healing and speaking your truth and intuition and connecting with those around you. Here and now is this space that I have created to join women together. I love you and I'm so grateful for you. May we lead with love and light, joy and compassion, my beautiful soul sisters. Welcome, my beautiful soul sisters. We are on season 2. Isn't it amazing? It just goes to show that when you just show up once a week and do something, that time passes no matter what. Like, time passes. I think I'm on season 2, episode 30, I think is what I'm at, which is amazing because with all of my history with podcasting, I have been on 3 different podcasts, which is so amazing. Like the small part, the inner critic part says, oh my gosh, look at all those failures that you've done. You don't stick through. And then when you really reach a little bit deeper, we have to know that everything that we have done in our past has led us to this moment. And even those small things that we don't think are a big deal that are, because everything is our teacher. And speaking of teachers, I feel like fall is coming on here in Colorado, and it is getting cold and crispy, and it is getting darker earlier. It's getting darker earlier in the mornings and then in the evenings. When I've been waking up in the mornings, it has been dark, which has been magical. I had like a magical moment that I wasn't going to share. And then I decided, because I vow to always be authentic and vulnerable, I'm going to share all of the things, even the misperceived weird things. I was waking up early this morning. I woke up at 5:50. My kids were all sleeping. The house was dark. It was cold. It was cold this morning. And I closed the window and I looked up and the moon was bright, like a huge, bright moon, almost a full moon, like at that like stage where it's maybe going to be a full moon tonight or tomorrow night. And it was bright and beaming and lighting up the sky. And as I stared at the moon, suddenly another moon appeared, and then another moon appeared through my vision. And there were 3 moons that I saw. And it was like 1, 2, 3. And they were all in this line that were just like all aligned together. And then there was space. And I just was like, oh my gosh, I'm so grateful. And within that huge moon, I was looking up the moon and I just gave so much gratitude. And I said, thank you so much, moon. Thank you so much, moon. And then I put out my intentions, my manifestations that I've been working at and accumulating abundance and success and making money, doing all the things that I'm already doing, but making like a money and abundance. And I see this vision of me having all this money and being able to take my family and then my sister's families on a beach vacation. That's something I've like wanted to do for a long time. Like, I want to fund it. I personally want to take my families on vacation and pay for everything. It just sounds like it would feel amazing to me. And I see that and giving money, and then I saw my healing center, and then I listened to this Oprah like motivational, inspirational thing on YouTube the other day, and she was talking about manifesting, and she was talking about the song that she sang, particularly when she was manifesting, and when she was holding on so tight and nothing was happening, it was like, oh my gosh, all this resistance. And then she's saying, I surrender all. I surrender all. And then when I looked at these beautiful triple moons, which I need to look up, like, what does this mean? Do you know what does it mean when you see a triple moon in your vision and you see it? I saw it. I know there's so much power in threes. 3 is like the shape of a triangle, which is the most powerful force. I always feel like threes, like that is the number of just like, oh, for me, it's super powerful. And then I sang that song, I surrender all. And then I really just like felt into gratitude, and I felt into surrender, and I was letting go. And then, of course, the morning happened, and I was so grateful because I got myself down in my basement, unrolled my yoga mat. We have like a really nice workout space in our unfinished basement, and I have all of my art that I made from my 200-hour teacher training. And it was so nice to just stand on my mat and stare at all of these images. We had to make for each asana, which is the movement portion of yoga, a little index card. And the instructor said that we could draw a stick figure. And I was like, I have no idea. How are you supposed to draw a stick figure of a downward dog? Like, that made no sense to me, but I am an artist. I have like that creative mind. And so I created like downward dog, and then on the back of the card was your cues. So it was for us newbie teachers, how do I get somebody into a downward facing dog? Like, if you're standing up, how do I get you there? And so we had to learn how to communicate with people through these cards, and they were so amazing, and I loved them so much. And then I watercolored them too, and they're crinkled and imperfect and beautiful. And I had this old picture frame, so I took probably 3/4 of them, and it took a really long time to assimilate, and I lined them up, so there's probably like 5 on each row, and some are vertical and some are horizontal. And I have my inspired yoga art, because I actually just did a little blog on what do we do when inspiration isn't here. Well, we can look to ourselves. We can look to the things that we've done before that can help us stay inspired. The things that we've done before have led us up to this moment. And I'm so grateful that I was inspired when I took my first teacher training. And I have all of these beautiful images of all of these different, who knows who they are. They're just all these images of people that I drew doing all of these postures that really inspire me to move my body. Because I have been practicing yoga for about 9 years now, and I go through waves where I'll practice like 2 days a week, or I'll practice 7 days a week, but I've always honestly had a practice. Like, I've always even showed up, and part of a yoga practice is meditation. It's breath work. It's not just asana. And I've been really digging into a lot of mantra right now I'm taking my 300-hour yoga teacher training, and I'm learning so much about mantra. And mantra they're sacred sounds, which a lot of us know. Om is said to be the sound of creation. Om is one of the easiest mantras that any yoga practitioner, any human on this planet can reach for. I'm actually right now writing a paper on, it's one of my finals for my module 5 meditation myths and mantra portion. And maybe I'll read it to you. I'll read to you. The assignment is a 250 word count of why we chant and how long yogis have been chanting. And then there's also this book that I read called The Sacred Sound. Alana Kaivalya is the instructor she's the creator of the Kaivalya yoga method. I think Kaivalya yoga method. Yes, that's what it's called. And yeah, and so she wrote this beautiful book that we had to read, and it has all these different mantras. And I get sometimes intimidated by the Sanskrit because it's so powerful, and I don't want to mess it up. So my ego is like, Shelly, come on. Because in English, our T's are like t, t, t. In yoga, there's like 3 different kinds of teas. They're like, there's like one that goes, you drop your tongue down by your bottom teeth and, or at the roof of your mouth. And I don't know what the third one is. And so I have to get out of my own way when it comes to mantra, because there's no right or wrong way to mantra. Even if you don't pronounce it correctly, it's the intention behind it. And knowing that I know that we mantra because it helps us get out of our own way because of all of the thoughts. And in my practice over the years of mantra, I've learned that it takes me like 50 times to mantra before I can even stop thinking the thoughts that are racing through my mind. And that's why in yoga that this tradition has been created where we use a japa mala, which is mala, it's meditating like with the mala in 108 times over and over and over. And we use the mala to represent that 108, which has a really powerful spiritual underpinning behind it. And we say the same mantra over and over and over and over. And it honestly helps raise our vibration because mantra is it's a vibrational language. I don't even know what I would call it a language, but like chanting, you could call it a language. But it legitimately, it shifts your energy. And the reason it does this is because I used to think it was for thousands of years. Here, I'm going to read to you what I've written so far. It says, as yogis, we chant many sacred sounds to awaken what lives within us. Mantra is a vibrational language which shifts how we are thinking and transmutes into how we are feeling. Inside these vibrations live sacred healing powers. Sacred sounds have been chanted for longer than ever recorded. That gives me goosebumps. For longer than history has ever recorded. Over the years, teachers have been passing mantra to teachers, bringing mantra to a new yoga practitioner. Om is the mantra that I picked, which it's a little silly. I feel like that I picked Om, but also I just have been really digging into Om, and I have a tattoo of Om that I've had for many years since my first training. And I really have been exploring deeper aspects of what Om mean. And so Om is a favorite mantra to yogis, of yogis. Sometimes when I read my writing, I'm like, does that make sense? That's fine. We're still working on this paper. I haven't submitted it yet. Which can be easily passed on to a new student. Because Om is a fundamental sound, it brings awareness, focus, and a sense of unity to practitioners who mantra. In a yoga practice, Om can be one of the easiest mantras to chant for someone who might have resistance to chanting. And so that's the end of my paper. And I just want to share with you that when I first heard of mantra, I thought it was like some weird culty practice. Like there was a lot of things where in yoga where I was like, these seem like weird culty practices. And I don't know if I'm on board with this. Like, am I really just like chanting to a chicken? I don't know. I have this type of personality where I want to always expand and explore things. And the deeper I dive into mantra in Sanskrit it is not like a culty practice, like same with all of yoga. And I think it's like the same thing is that we have to let go of our perceptions because yoga is this inward journey. And if you're ever in a space or a practice that's where sometimes I can get rubbed the wrong way, where as if there's like a guru or a follower and you have to follow things in the way that the guru says. I personally think that yoga is a free expression to go within ourselves and healing our mind and our body and spirit. And everyone has to do what resonates with them. And for some people, religion resonates really well. And some people do like to have that follower and do like to have those guidelines to follow. And for others, it might not be the path. And so I'm not here to say what's right or what's wrong or to tell people what to believe in or not to believe in. I really feel like we are all on this planet put here to come together with love. And love is our governing force. And so whether it's, yoga or a Hindu practice or a Buddhist practice or a Christian practice or a Catholic practice or whatever it is that all of these practices are leading us towards similar things. They're leading us towards love and towards the ultimate truth and towards what purpose on this planet is. And I really have found through yoga that it's so much more. Like I thought when I first started taking my yoga teacher training, that first one like 5 years ago, that I was going to learn how to practice yoga. I was going to learn, oh, my alarm is going off, that I was going to learn how to teach a yoga class, which I did. But as one of my great instructors taught me, that yoga is like a pie and asana, the movement, is just a piece of pie. And actually dated back, like I was telling you, that before history has ever recorded that people have been mantraing. So it gives me freaking goosebumps now. And to know that there's all of these different mantras that can help us heal on different levels. And one of my go-to mantras is the Ganesh Mantra, which is the remover of all obstacles. And in this training, my new training that I'm taking right now, it was really cool because she was exploring more of like shifting your perception that Ganesh is not always going to remove the obstacles, but Ganesh is going to be here, which, if you don't know, Ganesh is like that beautiful, big, strong elephant. And there's this story of Ganesh that I think, I'm trying to think of, let me get this right. I think his dad was Shiva and his mom was Parvati. It might not have been Shiva. It's sometimes I get a little tricked out by all of the names. And they wanted a son, but I think that they were struggling having a son. And her husband, I think it was Shiva, and let's say it was Shiva. And if it wasn't, then excuse me for being incorrect here, but I'm trying to tell this story the best I can. And Shiva went on a meditational quest, and he was like gone for months and months. And Parvati was lonely and she really wanted a son. And so she went out into nature and she summoned all of the powers of the earth, air, wind, and fire. And in the swirling magic twirl, she created her son, Ganesh. And he was created a boy. And she loved him and she held him and she brought him home with her. And she loved him as her son, as the earth and the universe and manifestation helped her create her firstborn, her son. And they journeyed home, and as they were home, Parvati was taking a bath and Ganesh was home, and Shiva came home unexpectedly from his meditational quest, and he said, "Who are you in my home?" And he said, "I am Ganesh. I am your son." He said, "You are not my son. Where is my wife?" And he said, "She is taking a bath." And he said, "What have you done with her?" And he got so angry. He did not like the energy of this boy that he struck him down and he cut off his head. Parvati rose from her shower to all of the clamor and came out, and she saw her son dead on the floor. And she started sobbing and crying, "What have you done? What have you done? You've killed our son. You have killed our son." And Shiva grasped his heart. He looked at his wife and he knew what he had done. This was not right, that this was indeed their son. So Shiva sent all of his men all around the town to find a small animal, a child-sized animal. And as the men hunted and they looked around, they ended up finding an elephant, a small elephant. And they brought the elephant and they merged the head of the elephant onto the body of the boy. And with the powers of manifestation, they called out to the universe to please reincarnate and recreate this son. And they recreated the son, and again, bringing the earth, air, wind, and fire, and ethers in and swirling, and then merged Ganesh with the elephant. And then Ganesh, he had many obstacles to overcome in his life. He had many stories in his life, but his origin story of his birth and his death and his rebirth right there, it showed though that the love of parents also is like really deep and really true, and that with the power of anything, that parents can revive things. And so this mantra of Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha, Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha, is so powerful. And when I first heard that mantra, I think sometimes when we all first hear things, we have that resistance, which it's like fall is around the corner. Like fall is like here pretty much. And we're feeling almost like this resistance to change, this resistance to cold. And so this mantra, it begins with Om, the primordial sound of the universe. Om. And Om actually has three parts, which is crazy because you look at it, it's spelled O-M. The first sound is Ah, which is that sound of manifestation. And then Om, which is this kind of like carrying sound of like life and substance. And then is the sound of birth. Though it's the sound of actually kind of like finishing or death, like the cycle, like completing the cycle of life. So it goes ah, oh, but the ah and the o are merged together, so they merge and they transmute into om. And the fourth sound is silence, and inside of the silence is where birth, life, death, where earth, air, ethers, where all things complete, where that healing is at its utmost, is within that silence. And so Om is one of the foundational oldest chants, oldest mantras that can shift and heal so much in your life. So if you are struggling, which I think we're all having these struggles, like we all have struggles no matter what. Like COVID, I feel like is like almost like kind of hitting an end, and it's feeling like the world is like a brighter and sunny place and returning to whatever its new normal is, but it's just feeling like we're less led with fear. But still, I keep feeling all this resistance within my children. So I'm reaching for Om. And it's as simple as you inhale deeply and then you mantra on the exhale. Om. And right there, and that pause is that healing space. And so I really do believe that Om is one of the easiest mantras to reach for. And if you are struggling and you need some help from your beloved, your strengthened Ganesh, which I have painted Ganesh probably 4 times, and maybe I'll make the cover of this podcast Ganesh, and I'll show you my paintings because I have summoned the energy of Ganesh many times, and Ganesh is like right here with me. He is my main man, helping guide the way. And so that mantra, I will include it in the notes below in the description. And so it goes Om, O-M, and then Gam, G-A-M, Gam, Gam, Om, Gam. We can do that together maybe. Om, Gam, Om, Gam. And that's the first parts, the first 2 parts. And then it's Gana, Gana, Gana. Sometimes I know that it can get overwhelming with the mantra, so I'm slowing it down. So it goes Om, Gam, Gana. So after that Gana, it goes Pataye, Pataye. And that's where that T goes. Instead of the ta, ta, that it's a ta, ta at the bottom. You kind of melt your tongue down and flip it towards your teeth. So it goes Om Gam Ganapataye. Om Gam Ganapataye. And the last one is NAMAHA. 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 So when you string it all together, I know at first it's like, oh my gosh, that's a handful. I felt like that at first. And then after you mantra over and over and over and over and over, it's not about getting the words right or anything. It's about the intention and even just humming it until you can get the rhythm. So deep inhale comes in. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. And the way I learned to do this mantra it was a little confusing for me at first because I was in choir in middle school and high school. I always loved singing, but then my confidence wasn't really there. And I really wanted to encourage anyone that you don't have to be a singer or have a tune melody or anything like that. You can be completely tone deaf and mantra. You can even, I think, if you were deaf, reading the Om on Braille. I don't even know if they have that. I think that would be absolutely amazing because I think that you don't even have to hear that sound. It's a vibration. And especially for someone who was hearing impaired, I believe that you could really tap into that vibration at such a deeper space. I almost am wondering if you could almost play the mantra really loud and then feel the speaker. Would be a great question for someone who was hearing impaired. I used to have a friend growing up, her mom and her grandmother were hearing impaired, and I learned I learned sign language from them, not like fluently, but I was always intrigued in such a beautiful language, and it was such like a different kind of connection. And like there's so much power to mantra. And I've been struggling with my two big kids. I don't know what it is, and maybe it is this full moon is rising, and my family's also getting ready to go out of town. We're going to Wisconsin for 6 days. For my husband's hometown has this festival called Cheese Days that's once every 4 years. We haven't been to Wisconsin since Milo was a baby. Milo is 10. So there's a lot of like, woo. And we're going to stay with this family who pretty much helped raise my husband. And we're bringing our camper. So we're pulling our camper. We're having a friend come watch the two big dogs. And I'm taking my little dog because he's kind of an anxious, nervous, grumpy mess. So he's going to come with. So I'm having a lot of feelings. And I feel a lot of this resistance with Milo, and then I feel it with Junie too. It's like they are getting these, I think, hormonal attitudes that it's really freaking hard. And my son is being, I hate to say this, but he's like such a jerk. He's such a jerk to me, and he's so rude and so disrespectful to me. And it was funny. I took him on a play date. It wasn't really funny as much. I took him on a play date to his friend's house, and I was telling the mom about him and his attitude, and she started laughing, and I was like, yeah, you're laughing, but it sucks, and it's really hard. And then she like was like, oh yeah, like I get that. My middle child is like that too. Like she was saying, everything is an argue with her. She's always arguing with me. She's always debating everything. Like my other two, I know that there's like battles to choose with her. It's like every single thing matters, and like she's got to push it out. And it was so interesting because I'm the middle child. Milo's the middle child. I'm thinking, is there that stigma of the middle child? Do they have that? Because Junie also is my oldest, and she is just so snarfy, and she did get her second period, and she's been really awesome and flexible, and just she's doing such a good job. And we got her period panties, and she's just like taking care of her period panties and washing them and drying them and using them. And I guess the one thing that I've noticed is her emotions. Like she has been so overconsumed by either anger or sadness, and they are huge and explosive. And it's funny because Milo doesn't have his period, but I would think, and just the way that he acts, it's like you might have your period. It is a lot. And some people say, like, is this our payback from all of the things that we did to our parents? And I remember being just very, also not very emotionally sound. And I have been doing my best to create such like an open space for my kids to be able to feel and be the way that they want to. And Milo he's so resistant to everything that I do. The other day, he said he wished I wasn't a weird yogi and I never made malas because they're so weird. And it's interesting. And I had to just sit with that and think, okay, well, I'm not trying to push things on him, but he is wearing this watch that he can call, and I made him a black tourmaline, which is one of the highest protectants of Wi-Fi and EMF. So if your kids are having devices that you want to have black tourmaline, and then hematite, which is that really silvery, those are the two most potent, powerful crystals that can help ward off EMFs, radiation, all that yucky Wi-Fi stuff. And Milo is mad because I've been making him wear it. And it's like, oh, but he went last year for his birthday. I made him this amazing mala out of not lava rock, but it almost looked like volcano rock. And it was like the matte bead, like a 6 millimeter bead, which is kind of like a smaller one, but all matte like finished, like kind of like that rougher, more natural look, and like really deep, deep, deep orange to red to charcoaly to black. And he loved it, and he wore it like legitimately every day until this summer when his cousins were like, those are so weird, don't wear those. And we each have a necklace that has a crystal quartz on it. And I made one for myself, one for each of my kids, and then our sweet little neighbor boy. And the neighbor boy still wears his. I love it. I love that he's still wearing his. Well, my nephews, who are also turning into little stinkers, cut off my son's mala, their necklaces. And then it was like this huge shift and this resistance set in. And it was like, oh, well, they think it's weird. So, and this is where peer pressure and judgment start aligning. And it's new to me as a parent, like obviously as a woman, as a human, as a wife, like I've been a part of this like judgment game and seeing all the peer pressure and the things, but it's at a new level as a mom. And it's freaking hard. It is hard. And I know the more we say things are hard, they're going to be hard, but it fucking is hard. I'm struggling. That's my struggle. Is like being a parent is like our job to struggle. I was doing this practice. So part of my meditation mantra, the sacred sound module in my teacher training, is we did these beautiful meditations. Like we have done a gratitude, a loving kindness meditation, a healing meditation, a chakra meditation. And actually one of my assignments is to guide a meditation, which I'm going to be doing on my daughter today. And then I'm going to be posting that on Awaken You Healing Center with Shelly on YouTube if you want to join. But it was such a beautiful practice, the way this woman kind of brought it together. And I'm going to guide you. I'll guide you through it a little bit here, just so you can kind of like get your feet in the ground. So yeah, if you don't have a chance to head over there, I just want to go through this little bit of a mini gratitude meditation. So if you're driving or working, this is not going to be the best thing for you. So maybe pause this. Or if you are working and listening to this, you can just focus. I've actually done meditations while I've cleaned or cooked, and I think that your subconscious mind knows exactly where it needs to go. But the problem is like you don't want your body to be like blah and like flop over. So probably best not. Like probably not if you're driving. I've also done I say this, people say don't ever meditate while you're driving because they don't want you to pass out. But okay, so we'll just put that disclaimer, like be safe, be cautious, be mindful, be an aware human. If you have a moment though, maybe you can find a comfortable seat. Maybe you can settle down in your sit bones. You can take like 5 minutes, like for real. I know how hard it can be, like that we think we have to do things like if you're in the bathroom, like just sit on the toilet. Maybe go in your closet. I'm in my closet right now. And find a seat and maybe find a little length in your spine. And wiggle your sit bones, wiggle through the meaty part of the butt. Feel all of the feelings in the body. Notice all of the thoughts in the mind. And just bring your awareness to your eyes and blink your eyes closed. Maybe lick your lips for a moment and inhaling a nice, beautiful breath that comes into your heart. Floating up and then exhaling. And then bringing one hand or both hands to your heart center here. And we're going to start this practice with Om. So with 3 Oms. So breathing that breath in. Om. Om. beautiful pause in that breath, bringing that breath in. And if you haven't already, please make sure you have a hand on your heart. Your right hand is your direct link to your heart center here. And within this space, this physical space of the heart, we bring up the gratitude affirmation. We bring up the mantra, I am grateful. We bring, and so the two most powerful words, I am grateful, together. I am grateful. And allow those feelings to come up, to bubble up in your hearts, and just repeat them. I am grateful. You can whisper them or think them. I am grateful. Or in the eye of the mind, almost like an image comes in and you could see, I am grateful. And now allow a person to come to your heart. I am grateful. And then allow that person to come. And then like a stream of consciousness, allow the next person to come. I am grateful. And it will be just fluid. And allow each person, I am grateful. And it will just come organically. And if it doesn't, you can pause and allow the next person to cycle in. If you can be open in your heart enough, you can allow the next person, I am grateful. And allow gratitude for each of these people. Allow the feelings to come up of how grateful you are. How grateful you are for all of your family and your friends. And allow that gratitude and that love to grow. And then give gratitude to someone who has caused you pain. We give gratitude for this pain. We hold space for it because pain is here to help us grow. And we send this person love. And gratitude and love does not excuse any actions or behavior from this person. We send them love. We send them gratitude. We send them forgiveness. Because my beautiful soul, forgiveness is for you. It is not for them. I am grateful. I am grateful for this. And perhaps allowing those feelings to come up and allowing love and gratitude to wrap and twine around this person. Giving gratitude to maybe someone that you have been having a lot of resistance towards. Giving gratitude to this person. Giving love to this person, giving forgiveness to this person, breathing gratitude into your hearts. I am grateful. Giving gratitude for all of nature, gratitude for animals, gratitude for breath, gratitude for stillness, gratitude for love. I am grateful. I am grateful. I am grateful. And breathing in a beautiful gratitude breath. Exhaling gratitude out. Inhaling gratitude in. Exhaling gratitude out. And we will finish this practice with 3 ohms. So inhale it in. Om. 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 Bring your palms, kissing palms, to that grateful heart. And giving so much gratitude to yourself. Gratitude for all this love and this life that resides within you. Namaste. And then just blink your eyes open and just notice. Notice how you feel. Just taking a moment to breathe that in, and knowing that gratitude combined with Om, like hello, can you feel that? It shifts completely. If you can allow yourself to be present within the Om and within the gratitude practice, it can completely shift your vibration, which in turn will raise your energy, shift the frequency that you reside on. And this is a practice that you can do for yourself every day. And so our self-care practice, once again, is gratitude. And maybe it's incorporating mantra with gratitude and I would really encourage you to just try this every morning. You can have 5 minutes or 2 minutes. You can Om 3 times. You can even, so Om can be spoken, it can be whispered. Om, or thought. Thought is the most powerful. So I know that there can be a lot of judgment when it comes to mantra and judgment of our voice. And I can clearly remember when I very first started mantraing, my husband ran down the stairs and was like, "Are you okay? I thought there was like a dying cat down here." And I got like offended for a moment. And then I thought, no, that's okay. You just, he doesn't understand what I'm doing, and that's fine. And I went all the way down the basement so I could be alone and he could hear me upstairs. And how powerful that I allowed myself to hear my voice, because a lot of us don't have confidence in our voice. And mantra and gratitude is a great way towards healing our throat chakra, our Vishuddha chakra, which is our space of communication. And I know a lot of us as children and even women, our voice gets smaller and smaller. And I know I even sometimes will notice myself doing this with my husband, and then I'm like, no, feminist anarchy. Ah, uh, and my husband gets a lot of resistance, but he knows I'm a strong woman who has a voice. And the more we practice things like mantra, that this is really powerful to know. I remember when I first found this out, I was like, wow, is that the tone and vibration frequency of your vocal cords is in alignment to the physical DNA, the structures, and the cells of your body. So actually, your voice is the most healing and soothing tone, pitch, vibration for you, for your healing, for your energy centers. The universe created you exactly the way that you are, your voice exactly the way that it is to help heal you. That's why our voice sometimes can be soothing to us. And so, especially when we can tap into powerful mantra or powerful affirmations, I am. I am. Remember, keeping your I ams positive, present tense. Just that. I am grateful. I do this practice a lot lately too when I've been kind of stressed or feeling that resistance or just feeling really overwhelmed with my kids or my husband. And I just say, I'm grateful, I'm grateful, I'm grateful. Or even at nighttime, the weird shit arises. I will just say, I am love, I am love, I am love, I am love. I am love, I am love, I am love, I am love. I am love, I am love. Whatever resonates, I say over and over and over, and then I'll say, I am grateful, I am grateful, I am grateful. And it will change what is happening inside of you if you actually practice it. So I really encourage you for your self-care practice to take time for you to mantra, to maybe move your body a little bit. Maybe you could do a few yoga poses. Actually, one of my beautiful soul sisters yesterday was telling me that last week she was doing the superhero pose, which is, I actually did it in my yoga practice. I kind of like made it a yoga inspired superhero stance. And it's kind of like a wide legged stance. And I just pointed my toes out with your hands and your fists at your side and your energy kind of open and channeled straight up and down. And then say your affirmation. Say, I am love. I am grateful. Or whatever resonates with you. I am successful. I am confident today. Try it. That pose is like powerful, super power, superhero pose, like hands on your hips. It just does make you feel like, wide open. And then I was like doing some squats along with it. And it's really powerful, I found too, to bring movement into our affirmations, because the movement kind of like reinforces it. It brings it in. And that's why something like EFT tapping, if you've heard of it or haven't, it's the emotional freedom technique where you tap on energy meridians. And a simple one is like, I like to just like maybe tap on my third eye. Tap on your third eye. Just, it doesn't matter what fingers, tap with whatever you want. Middle finger, ring finger, pointer finger. Tap, I am love, or I am intuitive, or tap under the eyes, or tap under the collarbones. You can tap your wrists together. You can touch point the top of your head. You can butterfly, wrap your arms around each other, and you can tap. There's something about bringing those affirmations in with movement that's really powerful. So I know that self-care practice was kind of like I wanted to keep the self-care practice this week like open to your creativity. So whatever resonates with you, but just make sure you're bringing that I am grateful and Om in, and try to bring them together. And the reason we start with Om is because it's going to shift the thoughts and it's going to shift the vibration. Because how many times have we affirmed and not believed it? Like a million for like years. I remember when I very first started affirmations, I was like, these don't even work. These suck. And it's because affirmations don't work unless we believe in what we're saying. And Louise Hay, our great, beautiful spiritual teacher, amazing mentor, taught us it takes 200 to 300 times to say something to believe it as a truth. So you could be saying I am grateful all the time, and then that resistance, that self-doubt, the bank account pops up, the bill pops up that's unexpected, the paycheck doesn't show up, and we're not grateful. We're feeling sad and sorry for ourselves. And then that brings our energy down. And when our energy goes down, we keep attracting like attracts like. And then it just brings a whole shit storm of yucky energy. But when we can shift that, and that's why, again, mantra is so powerful, because that stuff happens. Life happens. The weird stuff happens. My son talks back to me. My husband is annoying the crap out of me. And then, om, om, om. I'll even do that just kind of sometimes, even if I'm just like annoyed. Om, 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 om. Gritting my teeth together, driving. If you get really flustered in traffic and you don't like traffic, or I live in Estes and we don't have a lot of traffic, but like getting my kids to and from school, it's like stressful. So bring your freaking mantra, om, om, om. Or I am a fan of YouTube. I pay for the YouTube Red, which means I don't have any ads. You can just get on YouTube. There's this beautiful woman. Her name is jagdeesh. I think it's Jai jog G J. I'll have to like add it in the link. Jagdeesh, and she sings affirmations like with music and beautifulness, and you can just put those on. You can find anyone that resonates, or there's like these beautiful just like Buddhist monks chanting om. I can't go that low, but it gives me goosebumps, and they have like the gong and the bell in the background, and it just is like whew. You can just put those on when you're like not even feeling like it. You can put on a mantra. You can even get online and just like mantra, or find a mantra that resonates with you. There's another beautiful one that I love is Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. And that's may peace be with you. May peace be within, I think it's may peace be within me. May peace be within you. And may peace be within the world. And it's just like peace, peace, peace. There's so many mantras that are very accessible. When we can just allow ourselves this new awareness that we don't have to be stuck with the incessant chatter and the dump of the mind, because the dump of the mind is what creates all of the anxiety and all of the overwhelm. I get it. I was like struggling. I was having like a borderline anxiety attack last night when I was falling asleep, and I could just feel it arising, and we're getting ready for this trip, and I haven't even packed anything, and it's 9:34 and we're supposed to leave at like 3. It's fine. I've got this. It's already taken care of. And then I literally just started saying that I'm grateful. I'm grateful. I'm grateful. I am love. I am love. I am love. I'm grateful. I'm grateful. I'm grateful. I am love. I am love. I am love. And at first it doesn't feel right. Like it doesn't feel like it. But then if you can bring in that, then it's like, okay, I need to like recenter. This is literally like what happens like laying in bed. Everyone else is maybe like worrying about things like, and I get the worries too, but then I'm coming back to like all of these practices and knowing that that time before bed is such a crucial and vulnerable state of the subconscious mind, because all of the things that we're filling up in those last minutes before we doze off are going to bring with us into our dream state. It's going to go with us and travel. And why do we sleep so much? Why? Ask yourself this question. Like, we sleep an average of 26 hours in a lifetime. 1/3 of our life is spent dreaming. This is our space of massive healing, of connecting with source, with spirit, with energy, with our spirit guides, with our dream guides. This is our spiritual time. Like, we are all these spiritual beings having this human experience, and we sleep so much because we have to reconnect. We have to go back home. We need to connect with the light and the love around us. And remembering that those sacred minutes before you drift off into your nightly spiritual healing practice, like sleep is our most healing instrument. Sleep, my beautiful sisters. Rest. And I used to be someone that was like, rest, I'll rest when I die. That was like one of my things. Like, I don't need sleep. I would get like 4 to 6 hours of sleep. And I've really, as I've been growing and just learning more about myself and what I need, is that I need rest. And even for me, 7 hours can leave me pretty depleted, but I need to connect. And I even like doing a meditation, like as you're falling asleep, is so helpful to help set your energy up. And if, like, I know, unfortunately, my husband and I argue, and he doesn't like sound and I like sound and I like listening to meditation. So what I do is I go to bed before him. And if I end up going to bed at the same time as him, I know that I'm just going to put my white noise sound machine on, and then I'm going to put really low frequencies on that he can't even hear, that I can hear. And he gets real grumpy though. If he's like, I can hear your sounds, they're waking me up. I'm like, oh, bud, you don't even know this would help you so much. Just be open, quit resisting. He's such a resistor. He resists mantra, he resists chants, he resists it all. And that's fine. I know that the universe has brought him to me for many of reasons, because I need to just like be open and just still do me, because the things that I love, he doesn't have to love. Like, I can show up and do yoga. Like, he doesn't. I have practiced yoga with Rex 2 times, and he actually does love though when I do Reiki and give him adjustments. So it's like he has little bits that he's like opening up to. But just remembering, my beautiful soul sisters, is that I just really want you to be aware of your mind in the evenings in bed, when you're laying in bed, when that anxiety or fear or self-doubt or, oh my gosh, the money worries, like, that is when you bring your freaking affirmations and you bring them hard. And so resetting with that Om is going to help kind of like tune your vibration, because if you're in fear and worry, you're all the way down, 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 low, 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 like really low down. If you can reset your energy with Om and then just plug in what you want, like plug in, I am abundance, I am prosperity. Are you struggling with money? Has it been paycheck to paycheck? Did you want to go on a vacation and you couldn't? What is it like? Did you lose some money at work? You have to re-put in what you want. The more you fear something, the more attention and energy you put into something. Like, say your credit score has been shit and you're always worrying about that you have a bad credit score. I used to always have a bad credit score. You know what? I decided, no more. I'm going to shift that and I'm going to have a good credit score. And guess what? I actually shifted that. And I bought a house when I was 22 years old. I never lived in a house that we owned ever as a kid. And I decided, I was like, I want that. I want that for myself. And we were always going in the negative, and it was just really bad. And I had to bring my awareness to, oh my gosh, I bring so much negative attention to paying bills, and I get gross feelings when I have to pay the mortgage, gross feelings about the car. And so I have brought my awareness to shifting my energy around, how do I feel when I'm paying the bills? I'm so freaking grateful for this house that we live in, that we slumber in, that we grow, that we are raising our children in. Thank you. I send that bill out with love. Another bill comes, I send it out with love. Or I've set up all of my on auto payment. All of my bills are on auto payment except for one. And they just go out, and I kind of know that. But I remember living in a time where we could not pay our bills auto payment because we didn't have enough funds in the account. So you have to, again, bring your awareness to how you're thinking and feeling around your bills, and start with the intention to, I'm going to grow my credit and have great credit. You can grow and have great credit. I have an incredible credit score. I'm in the high 700s, and so is my husband. And we went from like no credit and then 600s or 500s. I can't even remember what are the low ones, but you can, with that intention and then action. Remember that you can intend on anything and think of anything, and then it's following through. So you pay those bills. Like, even if you have that credit card and you can't pay over, maybe pay $1 more. Pay $1 more. Don't go out to eat that week. I know sometimes people get mad about like telling you like, well, don't go out to eat. Well, I know that sometimes when we go out to eat with our family, it's $100 easy for 5 people. We live in Estes, like sometimes 130. So don't go out to eat that week, and plug that extra, even if it's $5 or $2 in. If you pay a little bit extra, it will pay off. Like, we have paid off our car, all of our cars that way, and our camper. And we paid off our car, which was amazing. I just started plugging in $100. And then I was like, I'm going to pay in $150 extra. And then I was like, I'm going to pay $300 this month. And I did. And then we paid it off. And then I paid off our car payment, which was a $500 car payment. And then I was like, that money is already plugged away. And then I started putting it towards something else. And I remember somebody told me about that, and I thought, that's kind of silly. And then I was like, I'm going to actually just like do that and try that. And then I did it. And now our camper is paid off, our car and our truck is paid off. And it's like, wow, like, we can manifest and intend whatever it is that we want to. I don't know how I got on that tangent. It was a big tangent, but it was because I was having this conversation yesterday with my soul sister. And I just wanted to encourage you that if I can have like financial stability and feeling good about money and having enough and overabundance of money, that you can. And it starts with that awareness to what it is you're thinking and feeling about money. And I have for many, many of years, I say this affirmation that I learned from Bob Proctor. I've read Think and Grow Rich from Napoleon Hill. I follow Bob Proctor's paradigm shifting, his book, The ABCs of Success, and his affirmation that has been implanted in my mind is, I'm so happy and grateful now that money comes to me in increasing mass quantities from multiple sources continuously. I'll say it again because it's long, but I've been saying it for years. It's just a thought. It's a part of who I am. I'm so happy and grateful now that money comes to me in increasing mass quantities from multiple sources continuously. So if you're in bed at night and finances are on your mind and your heart and you're struggling with them, I implore you to mantra your own, even if it's just in your head, and then realign your thoughts about money. So not whatever is happening, what you want to happen. I have more than enough money. I pay my bills with gratitude. I pay my bills on time. My credit is rocking. Like, you choose those thoughts. And if you're someone who has a hard time with just the thought form, you can write it, because writing is so powerful, because it's almost like the statement that you're like declaring and you're putting it out in the universe, and you're like, I am so happy and grateful now that money comes to me in increasing mass quantities from multiple sources continuously. Sing it, put that vibration, bring that healing out. Ugh, so many things. I love you, my beautiful soul sisters. I'm so grateful for you, and I'm going to get my butt packing for this trip. So I bid you farewell. And I really encourage you to bring some mantra and some affirmation into your bedtime practice, to make that a new practice. And it happens to me still, like when those thoughts come in or the fears rush in at nighttime, come back, counter with your affirmations. Just that simple. I am grateful. I am grateful, because the universe loves gratitude. Gratitude is what is our foundation of life. Gratitude and love. Gratitude and love. Gratitude and love. So I am love. I'm grateful. I am love. I'm grateful. Or Om. Thank you for being here and showing up with me. I'm just so grateful. Like, that we're starting another new chapter, a new season, season 2. Isn't this exciting? And remember, you can head over to iTunes and leave Awaken You with Shelly Bond a 5-star rating and a review. Please, please share this with those that you love. Share this on your social media. Share this message with anyone you think needs it, because we all need it. We all need this message. We all need to be uplifted. And I love seeing the analytics and growing, and it's just so amazing. My book, Awaken You, From Pain to Healing, A Woman's Way of Waking Up to Her Life, is on Amazon. You search Awaken You, Shelly Bond. You can follow me on Facebook, Shelly Bond, or Instagram, Awaken You, Shelly Bond. I love you. I'm so grateful for you, my beautiful soul sisters. I know that you are worthy of money. You are worthy of love. You are worthy at shifting the way that you are thinking, to shift the way that you are feeling, to shift and change and transform your life, because it is possible at any moment. Like, sometimes we have to hit rock bottom. We have to feel like complete dirt and yuckiness to know that the only thing that we can do is go up. Hold space for that, and then freaking like do something. So do something with your mantra, with your affirmations. Like, we can only pity ourselves for so long, because I have had those times. I've had those struggles. I know what postpartum depression and anxiety is. I lived it full force. But know that change is possible, that change begins within you. I love you. I will be back here hanging out with you next week. Bye-bye, my lovelies.